crowd. 1:04 to go in the second quarter. Kersey makes it a 6-point Celtics lead. Full court pressure now. It's so tough to trap the Celtics. Kersey tripped on his own feet, went to the ground. The ball will belong to
Hold it.
Boston.
Kevin McHale has hurt his left ankle.
Seems to be injured.
I don't know if he got kicked or if he twisted a little bit. Looks like it might have been just a twist. To try and see if we can find out what happened as Ainge comes down inside. Kersey trips against the right foot, as you saw him hit against Ainge there, and falls into Kevin McHale. And that's where it almost like a clip, except coming from the front side. Kevin looks like he's okay, although he is still moving that leg around. Every time DJ's touching it right now, the fans booing because of that foul he committed on Kersey.
There's Johnson from long range. Rebound Caldwell-Jones. That's his 7th rebound of this game. 40 seconds to go in the quarter. What a nice pass. Kersey missed the layup.
Well, that's the one he should have jammed.
Porter just takes it right back. It's tipped out of bounds. Good team defense by the Celtics. It'll belong to Portland. They have 19 seconds on the shot clock, 28 to go in the quarter.
Isn't that amazing, Bob? He'll try to dunk, jumping from about 12 feet from the basket, and he's right underneath, and he just tries to lay it up easily.
Blazers can pull to within 4. Running some clock. Shot clock down to 10, 9, and counting now. There's the time left in the quarter in the lower right-hand corner of your screen.
Well, if they score the basket, it'll work out okay. Kersey wouldn't feel bad because it denies the Celtics a chance to score.
Drexler misses, and then Kersey gets the lay-in with 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Ainge for 3, and he misses. At the end of the half, it's a 2-point ball game. Celtics 68, Blazers 64. Coming up now, Charlie Neal at our studios in Atlanta and the Prudential Sports Update. Well, it's Duck Bill night, and it's also Duck Call night in honor of Kevin Duckworth of the Portland Trailblazers. Very good ball game here. 2-point Boston Celtics lead at halftime. Boston's running well, shooting well, but rebounding belongs to Portland so far.
Well, yes, it really has, but it has been the type of tempo that head coach Mike Schuller would like to have, but the Boston Celtics can run the break as well as anyone, and they did it with some good defense. Danny Ainge will come up with a good defensive play as he drops in, steals that bounce pass by Porter. He'll take off to the races, get it to Bird in the middle, and there go 4 Celtics back. And Larry Bird, one of his 8 assists, will hit Kevin McHale, who had one of his 21 points, the leading scorer. But for the Portland Trailblazers, we talked about Steve Johnson, a player you haven't heard a lot about. There's a good screen on the part of Drexler on Parrish. Ainge does not switch off. That enables Steve Johnson to get the good low position against Parrish, and on the blocks he goes up for the nice little jump hook, and that's 2 of his 18 points. And it was an excellent effort on the part of Steve Johnson for the Trailblazers. And the Celtics, with that 4-point lead, have to do a better job on the boards as you look at the efficiency rating and what Steve Johnson has done against Robert Parrish. And Johnson, a big improvement, Bob.
Absolutely. Johnson could be, if you look at this, at the halfway point of what their possibilities could be. If he plays the same way the second half, he could have like a 28 efficiency rating, would be very high. And on the other hand, Parrish is kind of on target for what his efficiency rating might be.
He normally averages 17. Johnson only 12, so he's way ahead. As we look at the stats, the field goal 63% for Boston. Great shooting. Trailblazers slipped down a little bit, but the rebounds 27-6 and 12 offensive rebounds, only 4 for Boston. That has been a big factor, giving Portland a lot more opportunities at the free throw line. They've got 6 more points from the line.
Said 2-point halftime game. It's 4, of course, 68-64. Boston leading. And Boston with the ball on the missed Trailblazers shot. We're underway in the second half from Portland, Oregon, Memorial Coliseum. 426th consecutive sellout. Bird against Vandeweghe. Shot clock down to 7. The left-handed running hook, Larry Bird.
Now, Larry Bird was born left-handed, and he started to do things right-handed when he was very young. I always was wondering why his left hand was so good, and he told me that he was originally a lefty.
Boston with a rebound, 70-64. Celtics lead, and they own the ball.
Signs with his left hand when he signs autographs.
And checks. Bird from long range. Shot it even too far then. Terry Porter for the open man.
The mismatch inside, Johnson against DJ, an illegal defense will be called against Larry Bird. who was stuck right in the middle of the 3-second area trying to help out.
Bird probably plays the illegal defense better than anybody in the league, if there's such a thing as playing the illegal defense best.
Well, because he understands what the game is about. He knows what the rules are, and he uses them to his advantage.
Ball stripped away, then controlled by Bird.
Or I should say he cheats probably better than anybody else.
He'll do anything he can to win. He says it himself. He said one of the reasons somebody said you're a great player. Do you have any reasons you think you are? And he says, because I come to play every night. That's not a cliche.
Well, they obviously went for the isolation, and they got Porter to be called for it against the Trailblazers that time by going into that isolation move where they brought the rest of the team up high. Take a look at where all the rest of the team are. They're off the screen, and now we see Porter, and that Porter's stuck right in that area and not really double teaming, and that's the illegal defense.
So both teams have one illegal defense call against them. The next time that'll be called against either team will be a technical free throw. 70-64 Celtics. McHale hammered as he drives.
Now see, again, McHale knew exactly where Caldwell Jones was. He was laying against the left shoulder of McHale. McHale made the move to the baseline, enabling him to get half a body against a man. You get half a body against anyone, and you're going to have them difficulty when you're going to the basket, and that's exactly what took place on that move.
Caldwell Jones with the personal. He has 2. And Kevin McHale, averaging 26.5 points per game, 4th in the NBA, now has 23 points as he gets his first 2 of the 3rd period. His season high is 38. McHale has a shot at bettering that tonight. Is Vandeweghe just inside the 3-point line. Vandeweghe's jumper's been off tonight. It'll belong to Portland. Only 1 second ticked off the 24-second clock. But Vandeweghe's kind of like a tailback who only has 38 yards at halftime and 15 carries. He's going to break loose soon. Like now.
And I'd like to see Kiki do more of that. He's a great outside shooter, but he puts the ball on the floor exceptionally well. And I think he should go to the basket more often. Get him to the free throw line. He's a great free throw shooter, and that's the type of game that he should play, a more well-rounded game.
Gale on the turnaround. This Porter on the run. 3 on 3. Bird came down to even numbers, but there comes Caldwell Jones missing Drexler. And then Jones.
And Portland dominating the offensive glass. They had 3 more opportunities on that try alone, so that's like 15-4 on the offensive boards against the Celtics, a team that usually controls the boards.
Celtics by 4. Dennis Johnson left open there on the double team, and he hits it. Golden State kept double teaming the ball last night when Boston played in Oakland, and Dennis Johnson kept getting open and kept hitting points last night at 20. Check that he had 14. 74-68 Celtics.
Caldwell Jones wide open. They finally find him. Robert Parrish lost him totally.
Dennis Johnson, Celtics by 4. Bird. Dennis Johnson again. Off the glass, shot it short. Steve Johnson, look at him run the court. Tipped out of bounds by Ainge.
Bounce pass to Drexler that time would have been the play to make, but of course he's not a point guard. He's a center running the break. You look at Bird fighting over here. You see the screens as Vandeweghe pops out on one side. Drexler comes out to the right side, and there wide open underneath is Caldwell Jones as Robert Parrish just lost his man.
Drexler on the fadeaway over Johnson. Rebound McHale.
Portland has 14 points to 8 for Boston off of those offensive rebounds, and Celtics are lucky that Portland's not converting a higher percentage.
McHale's rebounding at 10, the rate of 10 a game. Had only 3 at halftime, 4 in this game now. Here's Parrish. Shot clock to 5. Caldwell Jones up high. 12th rebound of the game for Caldwell Jones. Vandeweghe, 20. Vandeweghe 6 of 15 shooting, but he hit his last 2. 2-point game. 7:53 to go third.
And 8 just a minute or so ago.
Dennis Johnson open on the Drexler. Terry Porter. To Steve Johnson.
Hot potato for a moment there. Good block by Bird.
Oh, Johnson with a beautiful pass, but Even Bird couldn't handle it. 2-point Celtics lead. Portland can tie. 7:27 go in the third quarter.
Both teams just a bit ragged with their handling of the ball on the last few possessions here.
Caldwell Jones. And it's tied, and Jones has 11 points. Caldwell Jones playing well tonight. 12 rebounds, 11 points. McHale. That's his patented move. It's number 974329064 in case you're interested in patent numbers. McHale's 10 out of 13 from the floor tonight. 25 points already. Celtics by 2. Three-pointer. He was 3 for 3 last night. He's got 2 3-pointers. I don't know if he's missed one. He has 13 points in the game. 2 for 4.
Caldwell Jones with a good follow-up on that miss. Had to clear a path because no one had picked him up as he came down as the trailer.
Caldwell Jones has guess how many points on Friday the 13th.
12.
Larry Bird on the fadeaway.
It's an impossible shot to stop.
Caldwell Jones season highs 15 points. His next basket will tie that. Foul on Boston. Let's see who is on. Wait a minute.
Parrish is fourth. He can't believe it.
Check that. It is Parrish, and he can't believe it, as you say, Rick. That's 4, and that'll be a tough situation for the Celtics now because we have 5:43 to go in only the third quarter. Celtics lead by 5. I want to remind you that we have a lot of NBA action coming your way. On Monday, the Nets at Milwaukee. Skip Carey, Bill Russell will have that for you. Then Rick and I will be in Houston on Thursday night, 8:05 Eastern Time for the Celtics in Houston. The Lakers at Chicago. Mel Proctor and Red Auerbach. And that'll be Friday night, 8:05 Eastern Time.
Watch this last play. You don't think the Celtics packed the defense in? Look at all 5 of those players as they were down low. Drexler making that first free throw. Of course, the result of that last play by Drexler on that drive was the 4th foul against Robert Parrish, who could have a very important impact on this ball game. Craig Kite is in the ball game, replacing Robert Parrish.
Celtics by 4, 5:40 to go in the third quarter. I don't know. We may or may not have a chance to see a replay again. Did you think that Parrish didn't impact the foul?
Well, there was contact. We have a foul being called down here. Offensive foul.
It's going to be on Larry Bird, his first of the game. Trying to get somebody loose off a screen. Johnson couldn't find him, took it in himself.
McHale with the block.
Very tight with a loose ball into the ball game now for the Celtics during that timeout. And McHale will go to the line. That's the third foul on Caldwell Jones.
Caldwell is doing an outstanding job filling in for the injured Kenny Carr this evening, and he's already got double figures in rebounds, had that in the first half. Scored some points and has done a reasonably decent job. Of course, he was on the bench sometime when McHale was scoring some of those points, but McHale himself spent 4 minutes on the bench getting some rest, played 20 minutes in the first half.
Celtics 83, Blazers 77. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Paxson into the ball game for Portland now. Nice pass to Drexler from Steve Johnson.
That's excellent spin by Drexler when Ainge tried to front him. Good pass by Johnson as well.
Seasting. For Dennis Johnson. McHale just battling Caldwell Jones, and after the fact, really, the whistle sounds, and Caldwell Jones with 4 fouls trying to stop Kevin McHale.
Now watch this play before. This is Drexler. See, Ainge tries the front, moves to the left side. Drexler saw him going, made the spin move to the baseline, and an excellent pass by Johnson for those 2 points. We're back to live action. McHale with 2 more.
29 points for Kevin McHale. And here's the problem for Portland in trying to stop Kevin McHale tonight. You know, Boston just finds whoever they need to go to. Mike Schuler has got a real problem. Who does he bring in to replace Caldwell Jones to play him? Is it Duckworth? Is it Kersey? Is it you switch Steve Johnson? What do you do?
I would think Kersey would be the man. He's got a little bit more quickness. There's Kersey getting off the bench right now.
Off the pick, Ceasing. Kersey set to come into the ball game, and that may very well be the case, Rick.
And now it's a 9-point lead, 8-point lead again for the Celtics, and the Trailblazers continually have to fight back. And how long can you keep doing that?
Bird with a rebound. Seasting running. Has Ainge down court on the baseline corner. Pass into McHale. Saves it nicely to Seasting. And there's the hustle of Ainge for 3. Away has Drexler on the right and Paxson over on the left. Drexler pulls it. Drexler with a loose ball foul after his miss. That's his second foul of the ball game. Now Kersey comes in for Caldwell Jones, so we'll keep our eye on Jerome Kersey. And now Kersey's going to be on Kite, and they put Steve Johnson on McHale.
Yeah, I think that could be very interesting to see. Making Johnson have to work so much harder on defense may take something away from his offense.
Over there on the right of your screen, you see Johnson against McHale. Here's Bird. Scoring over Vandeweghe.
Of course, Kersey has only 1 personal foul, as does Steve Johnson, so they're not, or 2 for Steve Johnson he has. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it's the old problem. Everybody faces it. Portland matches up just about as well as anybody else on McHale, but now they've got the problem. Kite got away with a push on Steve Johnson. Celtics running. Seasting off the glass. Rattles it in.
And Mike Schuler wisely calling the timeout.
It's 91-79 Celtics. 3:10 to go in the third quarter. And how you going to stop Kevin McHale? He has 29. Motorsports fans should be sure to tune in Dave Despain and Motor Week Illustrated Saturday night at 10:35 Eastern. They'll be live from the Daytona International Speedway to preview the Daytona 500. 91-79 Celtics. 3:10 to go, third quarter. Bob Neal along with Rick Barry from Memorial Coliseum in Portland, Oregon.
Portland still dominating there in the rebounding department, but the Boston Celtics controlling the scoreboard, where it all boils down to.
Portland only shooting 33%, 7 for 21 in this half. Kersey from 18. Drexler kept it alive. Here's Kersey. Nice down the line, but credit the good play to Drexler.
And another offensive rebound for the Portland Trailblazers.
Celtics lead by 10.
Celtics are just shooting such a great percentage. That's what's been keeping them in the ball game.
Got clock to 10. Ainge for 3. Oh, they can really put you away with the three-point shooters. And Bird and Ainge start hitting those. That's Danny Ainge's third of this game.
3 for 6 in three-point range.
Ainge's third in the league. That percentage is 46%. Steve Johnson battling it in. Steve Johnson's just 6'10". He's not one of the 7-foot towers in the NBA.
I can't remember seeing a game where the Boston Celtics have had another team dominate them so much on the offensive board.
Yet Boston leads by 11. Kersey trying to stop Bird on this one, and Bird hits over Jerome Kersey. Bird's bigger than Kersey by a couple of inches.
23-8 in points off of offensive boards. Portland over Boston, Bob. 22-5 in the actual number. That's an incredible statistic. Yet a big 13-point lead.
Just what they didn't need was a turnover, but Portland gets away with it as McHale misses. Portland a little disorganized right now. I tend to wonder if they don't need Terry Porter back in there. He's their leader on the floor. Vandeweghe.
Well, everything's coming from the outside right now. The Boston shut down the inside game, except for the offensive rebounds. And Portland's missing, and they're lucky they're getting those offensive boards.
Tight misses. Let's just listen to some of this sound here on the break. Oh, my. Danny Ainge with a steal. Bird for a wide open three. No foul. Now we're just going to listen to the sound inside. Drowned out by the sound of boos. They wanted a foul here in Portland. Celtics 96, Blazers 83. 40 seconds to go, third quarter. Well, that's one way to stop McHale from scoring the field goal, is to gang tackle him at the baseline. Drexler with a foul.
Well, Bob, you are right. Portland, I think, is a bit helter-skelter out there and a bit disorganized. As you see McHale pick up that loose ball and just goes right in as Drexler commits the obvious foul, and he also got fouled by Kersey. But I think one of the reasons is the fact that they are looking to take the outside shot. They're trying a little bit too hard and too quickly to try and get back into this ball game. They did it before by playing good, sound defense and coming down and taking the good opportunity shots. In this case, they seem to be forcing the issue a little bit. But this is what happens when you're fighting from behind so often throughout a ball game. You actually reach a point sometimes where it doesn't work for you. And I think that Portland's reached that point right now, and they have to be very careful.
Hale with 31 after those free throws. Steve Johnson was pushed before he shot. That's Greg Kite with the foul, his fourth.
You know, the man that
Kite has, but Kite has 4 and Parrish has 4 fouls. So 2 of the big men for Boston in some foul trouble.
The thing that I feel with the Portland team that I have noticed in the games that we've been able to see them is that Jim Paxson has not been as much of a contributing factor offensively than you were accustomed to seeing him do in years past, in seasons past. He just doesn't seem to be into the flow of things. I don't know if his shot's not working or what's happening as Duckworth comes into the ball game along with Porter. Drexler goes out, and so does Kiki Vandeweghe.
Well, Paxson just not having the same kind of year he normally has. Scoring about 12 points a game. He's playing about 24 minutes.
Well, he can score points, but the thing in the games that we've seen, that for some reason has not been an important factor offensively.
Duckworth with a loose ball foul. It is a 14-point Celtics lead with 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. In a game that had been relatively foul-free, we've had a bunch of them here in the third quarter. It's gone Boston's way, too. And a couple of things. You're talking about Portland's frustration. One, when they shoot so poorly, they get frustrated. And 2, when you get a player like McHale, and it seems to be somebody different every night. It was Ainge who led in scoring last night down in Oakland for Boston. You got a player like McHale who has 31 in this game and can't stop him. You can see where the frustration builds, and it has an effect on both ends of the court. Celtics 100, Blazers 84. We're in the third quarter. That's right, 100 in the third quarter. Paxson misses, but he's fouled by Ainge. That's only the third team foul, but Paxson was in the act of shooting. Check that second team foul. No, even check that. I was just looking at the scoreboard, and the digit was out of place up there. Team fouls 5 on Portland.
The second personal foul on Ainge.
Ten seconds to go in the third quarter. Down at the lower right-hand corner of your screen. It'll belong to Boston with 4 seconds on the quarter clock.
Now, this is where the good teams will get a good shot with 4 seconds left.
Well, we're looking at a good team here. Let's see. McHale. He's fouled. No, just loses the ball. Into the expensive seats. That was a wild and woolly third quarter. And when it gets out of control, it often belongs to Boston. Boston leads by 14. Boston by 14 on Friday the 13th. We talked about superstition. Look at Danny Ainge. And I love Dennis Johnson's particular ritual. 1 dribble for every year in the NBA before he shoots his free throws.
I said, DJ, you better not hang around too long. You're going to get penalized because you only have 10 seconds to shoot the ball.
How about Steve Johnson? This is his superstition. He takes complex carbohydrates, by the way, and amino acids.
And Drexler gets there, tries to get there as late as possible, and Porter tries to get there, the first one there.
You've no doubt had some. There's Sam Bowie and Kenny Carr, by the way. Bowie, of course, out with the surgery, and Kenny Carr has a herniated disc. What did he tell you about 10 days? He
10 days to 3 weeks. You know, it's funny because a lot of the players, I had like pulling teeth to get that information out of them. They said, well, I don't have any superstitions, but what they look at it is as a ritual. I mean, and that really is a superstition, but they don't want to admit to it. I readily admit I was very superstitious. We have a technical foul being shot. Casey Jones was called for one during our timeout, and Porter will shoot the technical. I used to get dressed the same way every time. Exactly the same way.
You mean in the right sock and then the left sock and then whatever it was, huh?
Whatever it was, exactly the same way every time.
You care to, like, chronologically take us through that?
This is true. No, I don't think so. Because we had to start with one of the items.
It's Friday the 13th, and the Celtics have a 13-point lead. Make it 15.
And that's because of Larry Bird with the great left hand.
102-87 Celtics. We're in the fourth and final quarter. Blazers going to have to get back in it right away if they are to battle the Celtics here this time. Here's Porter into the lane. And the big rebound by Parrish. Ziesting on the run. Bird's open at the top of the key. Here's Porter. 102-87 Boston. Paxson just can't buy a basket tonight. It's going to be a foul on Boston. And it's
Robert Parrish.
Or wait a minute, or no, maybe Kite. No, it is Parrish. Check that. It is Kite, and it is his fifth personal foul.
Saw the big fist go up by the official. Didn't see the other hand. So
he signaled 0-5, as a matter of fact. But it's 5-0. Nevertheless, it's on Kite, and it's his fifth. Attempted pass from Porter. The Trailblazers, the Friday the 13th, no question affecting Portland more than Boston tonight. I guess it's the luck of the Irish or something. Nullifies full moon in Friday the 13th for the Celtics. 10:50 to go in this ballgame. Ainge wide open, and once again the Trailblazers continue to be disorganized. It happened someplace midway through the third quarter.
I don't know if this lineup that they have in there is the lineup that they would need to get back into this ballgame, Bob.
Biggest lead of the game is 17, now down to 15 as Johnson jams.
I think Drexler and Kiki need to come back in. They need to get their regulars into the ball game. This team has not played together all that much, and I don't think they're going to have. They're a little disorganized with this group in there. It seems like it'll be even worse.
Ziesting off about 3 screens. 106-89 Celtics. 10 points for Jerry Ziesting off the bench. Steve Johnson, I thought he traveled. The jump hook will rattle in, and Steve Johnson now has 25 points himself. Johnson scored 40 earlier this year in one of his ball games. That's his season high. 106-91 Celtics by 15.
There's a chance for Portland with Bird and McHale on the bench to try and see if they can chip away at this Celtic lead.
Parrish over Johnson.
Important time right here for Portland.
Well, you called it earlier, Rick, how Portland will play defense. Percy's jump hook misses. There's Kevin Duckworth in traffic, and he's fouled from behind, probably on Day. Yes, it is.
Casey Jones not wasting too much time getting one of his better players in the ball game as Kevin McHale reports in for Greg Kite.
Here's Kevin Duckworth for a duck shot.
I couldn't resist it. Sorry, Bob.
I better explain that they've handed out duck calls here tonight and duck bills in honor of Duckworth. .106-92 Celtics 9-19 again. What a nice pass from McHale to Ainge.
Now, see, McHale has done so much that the Portland players are all watching him to see what's happening. And when one of them turned his head, they did the right thing by making the cut to the basket. And McHale, being the good player he is, found the open man for the easy two.
9 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the fourth quarter from Portland. Let's look at some scores around the NBA. Chicago beating Seattle 106-98. That's a final. And the LA Clippers win their 8th game of the year, beating San Antonio in the fourth quarter. 3-point lead, Phoenix at home against Utah. And a good one, Indiana leading the Lakers, and that's at Los Angeles in the third quarter. Celtics 108, Blazers 92, 9:04 to go in the ballgame. Bob Neal, Mark Barry from Portland, Oregon. Paxson misses, but there's Steve Johnson. Official scorer took one of Johnson's baskets away earlier, so now he has 25 points. It's 108-94, 14-point Celtics lead. Going to have to get some defense.
A lot of it, Bob, and very quickly.
Knocked away by Johnson as they get it into Parrish. It'll belong to Boston. 10 seconds on the shot clock. And just when Portland thinks maybe they're going to stop Boston, here comes Bird and Vandeweghe back into the ballgame. So Darren Day goes out. And Jerome Kersey sits down. I don't know if I want Kersey out of there right now if I'm Portland.
Well, he makes a lot of things happen. He can hustle, get the rebounds, run the court. I think I'd like to see him in the ball game.
I think he was a little upset about leaving, too. Ainge. Bad miss. Terry Porter against the entire Celtics team. Nice feed to Paxson. He gets this one to fall.
As I said earlier, I think Portland needs to have their starters back in, and Kiki's come back in, but I'd still like to see Drexler in the ball game. DJ is going to be coming back in for Boston momentarily.
McHale, what a nice move off the glass. McHale with his first fourth quarter points. He now has 33, 5 below his season high of 38. Duckworth finds the open man nicely. One touch pass from Vandeweghe.
Jim Paxson just does not have his rhythm down shooting.
Seasting wisely pulls it up as the Trailblazers get down quickly. 110-96 Boston, 7:42 to go in the ball game. And Paxson's shooting percentages happen to be abysmal tonight. Bird would fall away, rebound Johnson. Steve Johnson's in double-figure rebounds, 12, I believe. Bird, the Porter misses. Trailblazers shooting percentages are just not allowing them to get back in the ballgame. 110-96 Celtics, 7:14 remaining.
And couple that with the fact that they're not controlling the offensive boards like they were throughout this ball game.
Bale against Duckworth. He gets a travel on that one. Dennis Johnson back into the ball game for Jerry Seasting. And the Celtics have that starting lineup in there. Paxson and Porter in the backcourt for Portland. Duckworth, Steve Johnson, and Vandeweghe. The Trailblazers up front. Vandeweghe also missing from long range.
Well, Portland's been almost entirely outside except for those offensive rebounds that they are getting. Their initial moves and offense has not been going inside. And, of course, the Celtics known for being able to shut down a lot of teams in that area.
Bird off balance. Out of bounds. It'll belong to the Trailblazers. 110-96 Celtics. Porter fouled as he puts the shot up. He'll go to the line. 3 team fouls on the Celtics.
Casey Jones is up pleading his case with Ronnie Nunn over on the sidelines. You see him in the background along with Jimmy Rogers asking, what did they have to do to get to the free throw line, feeling that Larry Bird was fouled on the last attempt. An interesting move now by Mike Schuller. Fernando Martin coming into the ball game.
Who almost never plays. Martin only plays usually about 6 minutes a game, if that. Often doesn't play at all. He's played at Club Real Madrid. Rookie in the NBA. Parrish with 5 personal fouls. 110-98 Celtics. 6:25 to go. It's a 12-point lead. Portland still in there.
Of course, the pace of this game has slowed down tremendously.
For 3. This is this one. Bird steals it. You can see it coming, and look at the pass to McHale.
Oh. Great players to ever play the game. He has such court sense and awareness. It reminds you so much of Magic Johnson's that we pointed out in our last ball game. Both of them are brilliant.
Jump hook by Duckworth. Actually, a duck hook.
You were waiting all night for that, Bob.
Thank you, Kevin. Celtics by 12 with 5:48 to go.
Usually your duck hooks are on the fairways.
You got that right. Bird off the screen. It's stripped away by Vandeweghe, but controlled by Parrish. Ainge wisely found the open Dennis Johnson. And the Celtics continually put on a clinic. Team play, ball movement, finding the open man, rebounding.
Well, if you learn the game the way it was supposed to be played, you can't help but love playing for the Celtics. Curry with another great defensive effort.
It's 3-on-2. What a pass to Ainge. Oh, the Celtics operating like surgeons now. 116-100, 5:10 to go in the ball game. This is one of those nights. The Celtics played like this against Golden State last night. George Karl at Golden State said, I don't know what we could have done to stop them. They were just, everything they did was right. It looks that way again tonight. And now when they smell blood, they get even worse. Oh, boy. By 18, Boston, timeout. Portland, 4:52 to go in this ball game.
Now, this is why Larry Bird has been the MVP 3 consecutive years. Good rebound by Vandeweghe. Makes the mistake, keeping it over his head. Bird strips it away, hits the deck going for it. Now, look at the court vision that he has in the sense to get the ball to McHale for the easy stuff. Now the drive by Porter on the good fake. Bird comes to the weak side defense off of Martin. Again, he strips it away. Sees Ainge on the breakaway. The perfect lead pass. Danny stretched out totally with the ball in perfect position. Another assist for Bird. He's got double figures in that department. Larry Bird showing you why he does not have to score points to be the great player that he is.
And now Boston with some wholesale changes. Connor Henry, number 43, in guarding Drexler right now. Sam Vincent into the ball game along with Fred Roberts. Here's Duckworth scoring from the baseline. Kevin Duckworth's a good offensive player, Rick.
I've been impressed by the way that he moves out in the court. He's another one of those players. Kind of reminds you of Charles Barkley, a bigger version. You wouldn't think could move like he can, but he does an excellent job moving out there.
Celtics by 16 with 4:24 remaining in the game. McHale 1 point away from his season high. He has 37.
And of course, Drexler now is, as you say, back in the ball game and may have been a little bit too late.
Vandeweghe keeps it alive, takes it back up, battles it in. Wanted a foul, none coming. Vandeweghe, by the way, is only 7 of 22 shooting in this game. And Paxson, we talked about him struggling. He's actually 4 of 12, which is awful. Thank you. Just speak your mind. Vincent into McHale. Way down Paxson. 16-point Celtics lead. Martin couldn't have.
I've had enough of those myself to know that's awful.
We were talking about Friday the 13th. It struck Portland. The designated Friday the 13th unlucky person on our crew, though, is our graphics coordinator, Jeff Benke. He's missed his airplane. He lost his luggage, talked to 6 different airlines. Vincent rattles it in.
Call an offensive foul against Vincent. No basket.
That's right.
Crashed into Duckworth.
Listen,
I don't know how unfortunate he is. I think we're unfortunate because he hasn't changed his clothes in a couple of days.
Well, the good news is they found one of his 3 pieces of luggage. Let's hope it's the one with the fresh clothes. Otherwise, we're sending him to the Oregon mountains.
That's about where he smells like he's from now.
and to make it worse, his graphics equipment broke down just before the game. So it's truly Friday the 13th for the Trailblazers and Jeff Benke. Hang in there, Jeff. 16-point Celtics lead, 3:22 to go in the game. Vandeweghe. Can't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line. Connor Henry, Sam Vincent, now Rick Carlisle, Darren Day, and Fred Roberts are the Celtics lineup as those Celtics veterans get a rest. One of the reasons they're only having to play 30, 35 minutes these days is they're getting these big leads. And remember, this is the 3rd road game of an 8-game, 12-day road trip for the Celtics. They're going to be 3-0 on the road. There's Greg Kite coming back in. Kite has 5 fouls on him. And Vandeweghe. Vandeweghe's 18 points below his average. He's averaging 26.4. He's 6th in the NBA scoring.
Well, Portland, of course, needs to get outstanding performances from all of their players to ever have a chance to beat the Boston Celtics. They did not get that this evening.
And I don't think we can overemphasize the absence of Kenny Carr from the Trailblazers with his bad back. It really hurts him. He provides that inside muscle. He couldn't have stopped McHale either. However, day off balance. Vandeweghe to Drexler. Stolen by Connor Henry. Darren Day with a fadeaway.
Darren's not afraid to put it up, Bob.
Connor Henry, number 43, you see on the left side there from Cal Santa Barbara. 6'7", good shooter.
Was with the Rockets.
Celtics like him. Drexler off balance. Garbage time. 2:31 to go in the game.
Now, you know, Bob, but that's what it should not turn into. If the players who are in the game are smart, they should go out there and try to execute their offense, play good, smart basketball, just like that. A good cut, nice pass, battle on the boards. And they're going to have a foul inside. You have to do that because for a guy who's not getting in the game at all, you've got to try and find a way to earn the respect of the coach to try and get some more playing time.
Kevin Duckworth with the foul. That's not on Martine. It was on Duckworth. Could have been on either one of them. They called it on 0-0. Kevin, who has his third personal foul in the ballgame. Here's that Celtics bench. They, you know, usually after the 5 starters, you got about 3 players on the Celtics who play about 13, 14 minutes a game. Then about 3 more who play about 5 or 6 minutes. Darren Day. 122-106 Celtics. Minute 58 to go in the ball game. Fernando Martin from Spain. Duckworth. Nice touch. I like the way he's coming along. And he's down to a svelte 280 pounds also. Someone said he could stand to lose about 10, 15 more pounds.
We've been waiting. We've been waiting all season for him to hit one of those.
So I could say he looks like a young Rick Perry. 6'7". Good outside shooter. And we have a 20-second timeout with the Celtics leading 125-108. And as I said before about Connor Henry, the Celtics liked him. Brett Auerbach liked him when he was down in Houston. Houston let him go. The Celtics jumped all over that.
They also let Craig Elo go, and he's doing well for Cleveland.
Be sure to tune in this Sunday night at 11 Eastern Time for the sports page. Charlie Neal and Nick Charles review the week in sports every Sunday night at 11 on the Superstation. They'll have a recap of the Daytona 500, NHL All-Stars versus the Soviets, some highlights from that meet, plus the U.S. Olympic Invitational Track Meet. That'll all be on the sports page at 11 Eastern Time this coming Sunday night. I wanted to get back to Kevin Duckworth for a second, Rick, if I could. Duckworth came from San Antonio, and as he's moving into playing time, they said Paxson gets hammered and loses ball. And here comes Connor Henry. I'll come back to that. Carlisle blocked by Martine, and there's Kite to jam it home. Somebody said he needs to lose 10 or 15 more pounds, but they don't know who they can get to tell him. Vandeweghe. Vandeweghe just really hurting tonight from the field. Darren Day. 129-108.
Celtic reserve showing you that they know how to run the break as well.
Kevin McHale out of there. He's going to be 1 point below. He has 37. His season high is 38. He walked. It was stripped away. They'll go to the free throw line. And the sellout crowd now filing out of here. Stay with us following tonight's game for Charlie Neal. He'll have the latest scores and, of course, our Miller Lite player of the game selected by yours truly and Rick Perry. It seems to me that it's pretty obvious who the player of the game is. Would you agree, Rick?
Kite has fouled out of the ball game. Yes, I would think so.
It's not Greg.
No.
Larry Bird has finished the game in terms of scoring with 222 points, which is below Larry's average. Bird did have 9 rebounds and 11 assists. He was just a couple of rebounds away from having a triple-double. But Kevin McHale with 37 points. Going to be tough to...
Well, he's the man that caused so many problems for the Portland Trailblazer ball club. Of course, Larry having another outstanding ball game. His players who play an entire career and never have a line like Larry's had in this ball game. And for him, it's really not a line that's anything above what you're accustomed to seeing him do.
9 points for Duckworth in the game. For 3 from long range is Michael Holton. He's another one of those, that trio from UCLA. Day and Holton and Vandeweghe. When Vandeweghe was a senior, played with these Day and Holton as freshmen.
I see Joe was watching him now. He gave a hand to Ronnie Nunn for making the call on the foul on that one. He better not do it too loudly because he already have one technical that cost him a few $100 extra.
Celtics lead at 129-110. 50 seconds remaining in this ball game. These two teams only play twice a year. We talked about the really excellent matchup between the two, but tonight it just didn't turn out that way because the matchup problem with McHale that everybody has proved to be the same. That's going to be disallowed. It was interfered with on the cylinder. Basket interference won't count. It'll be Portland ball. So Roberts does not get the basket. Fred Roberts out of Brigham Young. 3 BYU players on this Boston team. Ainge, Kite and Fred Roberts. Kersey fouled as he drives.
Third foul, Darren Day.
So Portland with a 30-20 mark will go to 30-21. Portland trailing the Los Angeles Lakers by 7 games in the Pacific Division in second place. Lakers were losing by 1 in the third quarter last we checked at Los Angeles against Indiana.
It'll be interesting to see the Celtic team when we have them Thursday night against the Houston Rockets, who continue to play good basketball despite the fact that Ralph Sampson is out with that knee injury. Of course, anytime you have Hakeem Olajuwon in the middle, you're going to be a team to be reckoned with, but they're sneaking up in the standings there in the Midwest.
Houston's won 7 out of the last 10, won 3 in a row, have a record of 26-22, only 5 games behind Dallas.
We'll see how well they're playing, however, when they play the Celtics Thursday night.
It's Connor Henry just launched that one from outside the three-point line after the whistle. He can really shoot. Won't count, of course.
Well, of course, he and Craig Elo are 2 other examples of players who found the right team to be with, being the right place at the right time.
Henry dishes off to Carlisle with 14 seconds to go in the ball game, and the Blazers have 100, and guess how many points on this Friday the 13th?
I was hoping that was going to go in so I could say 15.
We have a foul that's going to be against Boston.
Oh, and also the Celtics
4 seconds left.
131, so there's a 13 at the beginning of that and a 13 at the end of the Blazers. And Wilt Chamberlain wore 13. And
oh my, there are no 13s here tonight, though, fortunately. Hope all of you folks have had a safe Friday the 13th. Oh, there. I feel better already with Kersey making it 114.
Well, Fred Roberts wears 31, which is 13 backwards.
Duckworth got the rebound and banked it in off the glass. Duckworth now with 11 points in this game. And that's the end of the ball game, mercifully, as the Boston Celtics are 3-0 on this road trip, 131-116. We'll be back with our player of the game, but after these messages, you'll get a recap on all the NBA scores from our studios in Atlanta with Charlie Neal.